Hey guys, it's Leah B from Prestige Veteran Medical Consulting. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, physician assistant, and former compensation and pension examiner. So welcome back to the Prestige channel. If you're navigating the VA disability process, there's a term you really want to be familiar with, and that is favorable findings. Okay, so what does that mean? So in this video, we're going to break that down. What are favorable findings in VA disability claims? Why do they matter? How to use them to your advantage? So let's just get straight into it. Okay, so what are favorable findings in VA disability? So favorable findings are like golden nuggets in your VA decision letters, those rating decision letters, which are super awesome and sort of give you the keys to what's going on, right? So since several years now, VA has been legally required to list any favorable findings that they make during the decision process right there in your rating decision letter. So this means that anytime VA confirms something that supports your case, it must be acknowledged in recording, or it should be, right? So let me give you a few examples of that. So favorable findings can include things like a confirmed diagnosis of the condition. Like if you've got knee pain or back pain, they're going to say, hey, we confirm that, the person has this. A verified in-service event, injury, or exposure. A medical opinion linking your condition to service. Lay statements accepted as credible can be listed in there. Acknowledgement of continuity of symptoms over time can be listed in your rating decision. These are all pieces of that big puzzle that VA is agreeing with, and that is really huge, right? So why does this matter? Why does that matter? So favorable findings stay in your record, okay? Even if your claim is denied right now, today, those favorable findings are still recorded. So if you and your claims agent appeal or file a supplemental claim later, the VA probably isn't going to reverse those unless there's some kind of a clear error, right? So they may help you support and strengthen your case. So let's say the VA denied your claim for a back condition, but they made a favorable finding that you had an in-service injury. That means the VA agrees that something happened during your service. You just need stronger evidence, potentially connecting your current condition to that. So boom, right? Now you know where to focus your next steps, potentially. The VA is going to outline it and give you those, hopefully give you that information. So always read the favorable findings section carefully. It can give you insight into why your claim might have been denied and why the VA does believe what they do believe in your favor. Always work with an accredited legal professional if you have questions. So a VSO, a claims agent, or an attorney, they can be found on va.gov. So some of these key takeaways. Favorable findings are things VA agrees with. Unless they're clearly wrong, they're probably going to be binding to your case. You can use them to support you in your appeals. Read that decision letter carefully because the VA is going to explain, what their findings are and sort of why they made a specific decision. Okay. The rating decision letter will even talk about the evidence that was reviewed. Are errors made in those rating decision letters? Yeah, of course they can be, but generally speaking, these rating decision letters are going to be pretty helpful and go over some of that evidence that was reviewed, favorable findings, etc. So if they say, for example, hey, you have favorable finding of degenerative, you had a back pain in service. We acknowledge it on July 7th, 1995. And another favorable finding is that you have a current back condition, right? They may say, it was denied because there was no link or nexus between the two. Well, now okay, VA is at least acknowledging that I had that in-service event. VA is also acknowledging that I have a current medical condition. I'm just missing that piece in the middle, right? So you and your legal professional can sort of focus on that or know how to narrow it down, right? And you can also know if maybe they made a mistake. So they may say favorable findings, none, right? But that you were seen in service 5 times. Maybe that's a key to you to say, oh, well, maybe they missed something. Maybe my records weren't looked at right. It could be a key or a map to helping you see what your next step might be. And it could also be a key or a map to inaccuracies or things that might have been missed. That evidence section can be super helpful too. That's usually on like the second page or something. It talks about all the things that they reviewed. So if Dr. Smith, your treating orthopedic surgeon, wrote you a letter and they don't have that in the evidence section, they could have mislabeled it and labeled it something else or miscategorized it, or maybe they just never received it or mishandled it or misfiled it or whatever. And these are things that you and like I said, if you're working with a accredited legal professional, especially one that has access to the VBMS or the system that they pull all the records, they can sort of look at all those items with you. Okay. And if you need somebody like that, if you head over to va.gov, there's a great search tool that will help you find somebody that's in your local area or anywhere. You don't have to work with somebody in your local area. I had a VSO, fantastic guy, Anthony, love you. He was up in New York State and I was here in Texas, and he was just amazing. So he helped me a ton. Same thing with those accredited claims agents and attorneys. They don't necessarily have to be in the state that you're in. We're in a digital world. A lot of these hearings are done virtually anyways. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys to understand what favorable findings were, also so that you can get used to looking at those rating decision letters. And I believe va.gov has put them on their website now, which is amazing because people used to have to call. If you didn't have your claims file, which can take a little bit to receive, if you didn't have representation at all, which you don't have to, you could either request your claims file, and that could take quite some time. Or if you just wanted your rating decision letter, you could call VA and they could email you a copy or send you a copy. But now it's my understanding, I'm pretty sure for probably about a year at least now, that VA is actually putting those in your va.gov portal. So you can go in there and download it. Don't ask me where exactly it is in there, but there's a way to navigate to find those rating decision letters. And then again, go over them and I'm not talking about the cover sheet, because usually there's a cover sheet that's like, says we made a decision in your claim, and then it will say there's enclosures, including the rating decision letter. And the rating decision letter will give you a good breakdown of what you claimed, what VA thought. It's not going to have your CMP exams in there and stuff, but it will have it might have some of the comments from the CMP exams. It might not. Those CMP exams you have to get separately. So I hope this was helpful. Again, that rating decision letter can be a really good friend to you to understand what the heck is going on. So don't give up. Keep pursuing those claims if you believe something is related to your service, and utilize your resources wisely, because there are a lot of great folks out there that, your county VSO or whoever who can assist you with that appeals process. So please drop some comments. Please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.